Hello, it is me, Killa. And if you are struggling to find and or take me out in the mall, well, today's guide's gonna help you do both. Let's get to hunting. These are Killa's potential spawns according to Map Genie, and we're going to go ahead and show you him live in-game at each of these places, as well as how many and where we found him at each of these spawns. Okay, as we approach the Idea Underground, our good friend Killa can spawn really in one of two locations that you're really going to have to be mindful of. The first is, as we walk out from these elevators, watching Killa as we just saw, Killa can spawn just all in here, and he's pretty quick to aggro from here, so make sure that you're always staying stealthy when you're over here. But this is typically where I've seen him spawn the most. You know, here's the front, here are the elevators, right back there is pharmacy, and typically he's spawning in this area. The second area he can spawn from over here is if you go around this corner. Have seen Killa in this area, spawning here as well. Just be careful. Again, he's very active when he's aggroing, and he is a nightmare to fight down here. But those are the two spawns, typically when we're looking under Idea, that we're going to see him. Now, we are walking up the Idea stairs to the front of the Idea store, and you have to be super careful here because Killa does not just spawn inside of the Idea store. He can spawn out in the cafeteria, right in here, and he will start shooting you the second you walk up the stairs at times. Doesn't happen often, but it definitely happened to me, so one thing to be mindful. Typically where I see him spawn is right in the front of Idea here, this first row by the cash registers. Again, he'll aggro you if you're walking out to the front of the stores, but typically this first row and the second row, he will also come in here and spawn as well. I've seen him over right here. But typically the first or the second row, he will aggro. And if he's in the first row and you're walking through the front of the Idea storefront, he's going to attack you. Additionally, to just being in the store and out in that cafeteria area, I have seen him out in the playground area. Out in that playground. Only happened once, but just wanted to be aware of it. But again, when it comes to Idea, typically look for him in this first row as well as in the second row, and he can spawn in that cafeteria area. All right, we are approaching the classic Killa spawn area, the Kiba and the Brutal store, and this is the area actually I saw him the most when doing my research, and he can spawn in all of his usual spots. Turn around the corner right there. Was in a live raid the other day, saw him right there. I've seen him in the back, and of course, still his typical spot in the corner there. Down this Kiba hallway, of course, we saw him sneakily hiding in between boxes here. He will spawn here and shoot down the hallway at you. And, you know, we saw him in between these two boxes as well. And finally, he will spawn in the not Adidas store. You know, we saw him right there the other day. But he'll spawn it in here as well. I would say the two most popular spots that I saw him spawn was in this hallway and in the Brutal store. Additionally, we got him once coming out of Mantis, so be cognizant of that. But these are the Brutal spawns. You know them, you love them, you farm them. Now, moving towards the Goshen spawn, and I use this kind of lightly because his spawn radius is pretty big over by Goshen. And that's why I start out here, because he can spawn right out in here underneath this escalator. We've seen him here a couple times, as well as moving into Goshen. Before you even get into the store, in these kind of tented areas, you can absolutely see him. We have seen him in the coffee shop. He was chilling just in the corner back here. Can spawn here, can spawn in this tented area. And then once you actually approach the Goshen store, where I have seen him the most, I have seen him in the long hallway peeking, just kind of hanging out right there, as well as in the back of Goshen, whether it's right there or the other side right here. It's actually where we got him for our Huntsman Sellout quest. But when you go into Goshen, big spawn radius. You can spawn in the store in the back, off to the right, as well as in the tented area, all the way out to under the escalators. So just be aware as you're entering the area, you could be entering Killa's domain. So, Killa upstairs is a scary, scary opponent. Most often, I've seen him either here or just chilling out here, kind of guarding the upstairs. But he has a pretty big spawn radius up here. I have seen him in this store a couple of times. I have seen him down the hallway, believe it or not, right there towards Techlight. As well as once or twice I've seen him in these side stores. Really not too bad, but primarily I'm seeing him here, in here, as well as I've seen him outside of Techlight. So just be aware of that as you're looting Techlight, that our good friend Killa can be over there looking for you. Additionally, have seen him spawn over in the arcade and towards the Octagon area. Call it the Octagon up top here. But really inside of this arcade as well as up here, I have seen him. So again, if you're just running through here and you're not even looking for Killa, be aware. And if you are looking for him, you hear the shooting, know that he can actually be over on this side. All right, as we are walking down towards Ollie, we see our good friend Ultra Medical Room, which I've had a lot of people ask, is Ultra Medical Room worth it? Well, we might have a video to help you out with that. But as we move towards the Ollie area, I actually didn't see him here too many times, I would say, during our research. But typically where I saw him, believe it or not, once or twice, right over in there, right kind of to the back of where the escalator is. Chilling out there, starting to shoot everyone. But the other three places we saw him the most was right up front here in these cash register type areas. A little deeper than the cash register. Right here. Additionally, had nades thrown at me, and here it is yelling from back in this area. So, you know, if you're looting the back of Ollie, just be aware that he can, and will spawn back there. And the third area that we've seen him spawn, you know, if you go over here, I've seen him spawn right in the back there, just hanging out for all to see. But he's pretty scary in Ollie, just because he can see you a whole heck of a lot easier than you can see him. So be careful. So we are moving down the Ollie stairs into the parking garage where he can spawn. Now, the two areas I've seen him spawn down here is one right pressed up against this wall here. He will just stand there and chill. And if you get the close spawn over there, I've died 15 seconds into raid because he stands here, he has vision of you, and he will shoot you. The other area that we just saw is if you turn around the corner, he can spawn anywhere from right here to right there over towards the sinkhole. So obviously he's very scary down below, so be aware, but that's typically where he'll either spawn, either right pressed up against this wall, or as you're moving over here, he can spawn there as well. Now that you found Killa, how do we take him out? As we know, Killa is aggressive, he hits like a truck, has great armor, and a massive health pool. So, gotta come in prepared for this. Now, I'm gonna give you my top 3 favorite bullets to take him out with. And, of course, we'll follow up with a fourth way to take him out that BSG just doesn't want you to know about. So, the number 1 bullet to take into raid is, of course, the 366 AP round. Now, this is a terrific round. It has more than enough damage and penetration to one-tap Killa in the back of the head. In addition to being able to one-tap, it's readily available, which can't be said for a lot of the top ammos. You know, they've taken a lot of them off of the flea market, but you can buy a ton of rounds at loyalty level 3 from Mechanic for just 519 rubles a shot, which for an ammo that good is actually really, really nice. Where this ammo kind of stumbles is the guns you can use it with aren't great. There's an assault rifle option, as well as the VPO, which is the one I like to go with because you're not going to be wasting a lot of rounds by packing a few mags, as well as the fact that you can put a nice scope on it, and like I said, take Killa out before he even notices you. So if you're going into raid, take some 366 AP, and you won't be sorry you did. Nothing. And that's why you use 366 AP. Because it'll go right through his head and one-tap him. Now, the number 2 round for killing Killa is an old classic. It is the M61 round. Again, it has the stopping power and the penetration to one-tap Killa, as well as able to shoot him a couple times in his face shield and take him out as well. The issue, of course, with this round is it is not readily available. Can't buy it on the flea market, and the craft takes a while and is pretty expensive, so you're not going to be able to run tons and tons of this bullet. But if you are, the Hunter, of course, is still a great delivery method because, again, clip size isn't too big, so you're not going to be running through massive amounts of the ammo, which is nice because, like I said, it's scarce. But Hunters are accurate, deadly, and a great choice. So the M61 Hunter combo, definitely a great choice if you're looking to take out Killa. Oh, baby, we're in it. And that's how you both use M61s and the door cheese. Yeah, if you close the door in Killa's face, he does not know how to handle it. And it makes it very easy to kill him. Almost as easy as clicking the like button if you found this video to be helpful so far. Now, my favorite round for taking out our good friend Killa is one that might surprise you. Shooting from the Ash 12, it is the PS12B round. Now, this is a massive round. It does an incredible amount of damage, and it has the penetration to take out Killa. And why I think this is the best round is it is a 1-tap to the back of the head, 2-tap to the face shield, and a 3-tap to the thorax, believe it or not. I've seen 3 or 4, give or take. Additionally, you're shooting this out of the Ash 12, which, well, it's a very heavy gun, is one of the best, in my opinion, at taking out AI players, PvE, and even Killa can't stand against this absolute monster of a weapon. After you've completed Grenadier, the quest for Proper, you can buy these from the trader, so you're not paying over 5,000 a shot, which it is if you're buying on the open market. So the combination of the availability from traders, being fired from a good weapon, and the fact that you can take him out in the back of the head or if after he's aggroed to you has made this my favorite way to take out Killa. Now, the fourth and by far the funniest way to take out Killa is by using grenades. And for a long time, grenades weren't really viable for Killa because he was just too mobile, too fast to use. But with the introduction of the impact grenade, grenades are back on the menu. And I know BSG has tried to tweak this and take it out, but Killa is still able to be taken out with a nice and well-placed RGN grenade. And I can assure you, watching the big man go down to it, it's absolutely worth the price of admission. And honestly, sometimes I will walk around to some of his more well-known spawns, like Brutal in particular, with that grenade out, pin pulled, ready to go, and the results are terrific. Now, I really do hope this information was helpful in both finding and taking out our good friend Killa. And happy hunting out there, and I hope everyone stays safe in the mall.